Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This time, we're getting you ready to absolutely crush it in your next interview.
Yeah, that's right. And this is for a pretty exciting role too, right?
Absolutely. We're talking about predictive maintenance experts. So think like a fortune teller for factories, using data to stop equipment failures before they even happen.
Predicting the future of machines.
Pretty cool,
Right.
right? But to really nail that interview, we need more than just knowing the tech.
Right. You need to know how to talk about it too and really showcase those skills.
Exactly. Luckily, we have RoleCatcher here to help us out. They have these awesome guides, a career guide, and an interview guide just for predictive maintenance experts.
And don't forget, they use AI to help tailor your resume and let you practice answering questions. That's like having a cheat code for your job search.
Totally. So let's lay out the plan for this deep dive. What exactly are we trying to achieve here?
We want you to walk into that interview feeling super confident and ready to handle anything they throw at you. So we'll break down the role, the skills, and then really dig into those tough interview questions.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. But before we get into the specifics, let's zoom out a bit. Why is this role so in demand right now?
It's interesting, actually. It's all about timing. You've got Industry 4.0, which is all about automation and data. And then you have this explosion of the Internet of Things with sensors everywhere collecting tons of data.
More data, more problems,
Or
more
more.
opportunity.
Definitely more opportunity. Companies need people who can make sense of all that data, predict those failures, and keep things running smoothly. That's where predictive maintenance experts come in.
Right. So we know there's demand, but what about the day-to-day? What does a predictive maintenance expert actually do?
Well, it's a pretty dynamic mix, actually. You might be in the office, deep in the data, creating models, or you could be out on the factory floor working with technicians, getting your hands dirty.
Oh, so it's not just sitting at a desk all day.
Definitely not. It's a good blend of technical stuff, problem solving, and explaining things clearly to different people. And the RoleCatcher Career Guide mentions that remote work is becoming more common, too.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk skills. What are interviewers looking for?
Obviously, you've got your complex problem solving, critical thinking, math, and of course, data analysis. Those are like your core.
Right, the essentials.
But you can't forget about good communication skills.
Why are communication skills so important for a tech role like this?
Well, think about it. You're explaining your findings to engineers, maybe to management. You've got to be able to translate all that complicated data into like clear and understandable advice.
Makes sense. So you need to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk,
Exactly. And to really stand out, certifications are a great way to go.
like the CMRP, the Certified Maintenance and Reliability Professional, and the CRE Certified Reliability Engineer.
Yep, those are two of the big ones in this field. They show you've got the knowledge and the skills.
And didn't RoleCatcher help figure out which certifications are most important for different roles?
They do. Their AI looks at job descriptions and tells you exactly what skills employers are looking for, including certifications.
Pretty handy. Okay, I think we're ready to jump into the interview questions now. What do you think?
Let's do it. A really common one you'll probably get is explain your experience with predictive maintenance.
Seems simple enough, but I bet there's more to it than just giving a definition, right?
Right. They want to see that you've actually done this stuff, not just read about it in a book.
So should we dive right into some sample questions?
Let's do it. Let's get specific here.
Mhm.
All right, so we left off with explain your experience with predictive maintenance. Pretty common question, right?
Yeah, it seems like a good starting point.
Yeah.
But how do you answer it in a way that really stands out?
It's all about showing, not just telling. Don't just give them a textbook definition. Talk about actual projects you've worked on, the challenges, the tools you used. Make it real.
So instead of saying, I'm familiar with predictive maintenance techniques, I should say something like, in my previous role, I used vibration analysis to find a bearing fault that could cost the company thousands in downtime.
Exactly. Give them those specifics, those quantifiable results. That's what really makes an impression.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What are some follow-up questions they might ask after an answer like that?
Oh, they'll definitely dig deeper. They might ask about the specific vibration analysis techniques you used, the software, how you explained your findings to the maintenance team. Be ready to go into detail.
Okay, so be prepared to back up your claims.
Got it.
What about prioritizing maintenance tasks? That seems pretty important in this field.
Absolutely. You'll likely get a question like, How do you prioritize maintenance tasks? They want to know that you can see the big picture and handle like competing priorities.
So obviously safety comes first, right?
Always. But then you got to consider things like how critical the equipment is, how much a failure would cost if you have the resources, and any regulations you need to follow. It's a balancing act.
Could I use an example from my experience? Like, say, I had to choose between a small issue on a non-critical machine and a potentially bigger problem on a really important one.
That's perfect. Walk them through your thinking. How did you decide? What factors did you weigh? What was the outcome?
And they might ask how I explained my decision to the team or to, like, higher-ups, right?
Exactly. They want to know you can not only make good decisions, but also communicate them effectively to everyone involved.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a bit more technical. What about this question? Describe your experience with data analysis and statistical modeling. I feel like this is where it can get a little jargony.
Yeah, for sure. You need to find that balance, showing your expertise, but keeping it understandable even for those who aren't, data experts.
So where do you even start with a question like that? What should you focus on?
Focus on the techniques in software that are directly relevant to predictive maintenance. Mention specific methods like regression analysis, time series analysis, or machine learning algorithms. And don't forget the tools you're good at using.
Like Python and MATLAB.
Yeah, exactly. But don't just name drop them. Explain how you've used them in real projects, what you accomplished, connect the dots for them.
So something like, I used Python to build a machine learning model that predicted failures with 90% accuracy, and that led to a 15% drop in unplanned downtime.
Perfect. You've shown you understand the tools, you've used them successfully, and you've got the results to prove it.
What if someone is still, learning a specific area? How should they handle that during the interview?
Just be honest. Acknowledge where you need to grow, but then highlight your willingness to learn and what you're doing to get better. Maybe you're taking online courses or working on personal projects. Show them you're proactive and want to stay on top of things.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk software. What experience do you have with maintenance software systems? What are some things to avoid saying here?
The biggest mistake is just listing software names. You need to go further and link your experience to specific things you achieved. Did you use a certain software to, make things more efficient? Reduce downtime, solve a tough problem, tell them that.
So instead of, I'm familiar with CMMS software, I should say, I implemented a new CMMS system that streamlined work orders and reduced downtime by 15%.
Much better. You've quantified your impact and shown that you can actually use technology to get results. Be ready to answer questions about how those specific softwares work too.
Okay, good to know. Now, safety is a big deal in maintenance. So how do you ensure compliance with safety regulations during maintenance activities? What's the most important thing to get across?
You need to show them that safety is your top priority, that you're proactive, pay attention to detail, and are committed to a safe working environment.
So don't just say, I follow the rules. Give them specific examples of how I put safety procedures into practice.
Exactly. Talk about risk assessments, safety checklists, lockout procedures, training programs, the things you actually do.
For example, I could say, before we start any maintenance work, I always do a risk assessment, make sure we have the permits, and double check that everyone's trained on the safety protocols for that specific job.
Perfect. You've shown them you take safety seriously and don't just do the minimum. They might ask about specific safety regulations or what you do if someone isn't following the rules, so be prepared for that.
Great advice. This has been super helpful. I'm already feeling more prepared for these questions.
We've covered a lot, but we're not finished yet. Let's shift gears for a second. Remember RoleCatcher and their AI platform.
Oh yeah, definitely. How can that help me prepare for a specific interview?
RoleCatcher's AI is like having a personal coach for your interview. It looks at the job description, figures out what skills the employer wants, and then helps you tailor your resume and practice your answers to highlight those exact skills.
So if the job description emphasizes machine learning, RoleCatcher will help me showcase my machine learning projects and practice answers that demonstrate my expertise.
Exactly. It takes all the guesswork out of it and helps you focus on what really matters. And the best part is it gives you feedback on your practice answers so you can, polish your delivery and walk into that interview feeling confident.
Wow, that's incredible. It really seems like RoleCatcher can take your interview prep to the next level.
It absolutely can. It's a seriously powerful tool that can give you a big advantage. And in the next part, we'll talk more about how it can help you build your career in predictive maintenance.
Can't wait. But for now, let's take a quick break and come back refreshed to finish up this deep dive. All right, we're back. We've covered a ton about acing that interview, but what happens after you get the job? What's next in your predictive maintenance journey?
Well, that's where the RoleCatcher Career Guide comes in. It really lays out like a roadmap for your career. It shows you the different stages you might go through.
Okay, so walk us through it. What does that path look like?
Well, you usually start with a hands-on role, something like a predictive maintenance technician. So you're collecting data, helping with the analysis, really getting to know the equipment.
You're building that foundation.
Exactly. And then from there, you might move into an analyst position. You'll be doing a more in-depth analysis, building those predictive models, starting to give advice on maintenance strategies.
And as you gain more experience, more expertise.
You could become a predictive maintenance engineer, right?
Yeah.
Taking on more responsibility for designing and putting those strategies into action. And who knows, you might even end up leading a whole team of experts as a predictive maintenance manager.
Wow, that's a pretty impressive career path. So there's room to grow and move up within this field.
Absolutely. And as you climb that ladder, your salary expectations go up too. The RoleCatcher Career Guide even gives you like salary ranges for each role. Super helpful for negotiating.
That's awesome. It's good to know what to expect.
Yeah.
And speaking of leveling up, we talked about certifications earlier. Are there any others that someone in this field should look into as they advance?
Yeah, we mentioned the CMRP and the CRE, but there are others that can help you specialize or move into leadership roles. Like there's the Certified Maintenance Manager, the CMM. If you're thinking about, managing a team, that's a good one to have.
So if you see yourself leading a team down the road,
The CMM could give you a real advantage. And if you're super into the data science side of things, there's the Certified Analytics Professional, or CAP, or even the Certified Data Scientist, CDS.
wow, so many options. It really shows how many different paths you can take in this field.
Right. It's pretty cool. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you figure out which certifications are most valuable for different roles. It looks at job descriptions and highlights what employers are really looking for.
So you can focus your learning on what will actually benefit your career goals.
Exactly. No wasted time. And remember, continuous learning is huge in this field. Technology is always changing, so you got to stay curious, go to conferences, take courses, read those industry publications, the whole deal.
It sounds like this is a field that really rewards people who are proactive and love to learn new things.
100%.
Yeah.
The more you invest in your own growth, the more opportunities you'll have.
This deep dive has been so insightful. Before we go, let's quickly recap some key things for our listeners.
Sure, let's do a quick rundown. What are the most important things to remember?
Okay, first off, predictive maintenance is booming. There's so much potential for growth. Second, you need those strong technical skills, but don't forget about communication and those soft skills, right? Those are crucial too.
And third, nailing that interview takes preparation. RoleCatcher's AI platform is a game changer for tailoring your resume and practicing your answers for specific jobs.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, before we let you go, one final thought to ponder. What new technology do you think will make the biggest splash in predictive maintenance in the next 5 years? AI, the metaverse, something we haven't even thought of yet.
Who knows? It's a really exciting time to be in this field. The possibilities are endless.
And if you're ready to level up your career, RoleCatcher can help you get there.
Good luck with your job search. You've got this.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.